Welcome to the Explainer. The spring housing market was supposed to be heating up, right? Well, it's actually hit a sudden deep freeze. We're going to break down exactly why a conflict happening thousands of miles away is hitting home right in your neighborhood and catching pretty much everyone by surprise.
So here's the number that's got everyone talking. Negative 2.4%. In just 4 weeks, pending home sales took their steepest dive in 3 months. I mean, a 2.4% drop year over year, that is a big deal, especially for what should be the busiest time of year.
So yeah, this sudden chill has everyone scratching their heads. Buyers, sellers, you name it. The big question is, what's slamming the brakes on the spring housing season? Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with what's happening with this sudden chill. Then we'll dig into the war, the turmoil, and what that's doing to rates. We'll also look at a potential turning point with a new ceasefire, and then, this is the important part, what it all means for you. Whether you're a buyer who suddenly has an edge or a seller who, well, needs a whole new playbook.
All right, first up, a sudden housing chill. Let's really get a handle on this recent drop. The big picture here is pretty simple. A market that everyone thought was about to take off has, kind of hit the pause button, unexpectedly. And at the heart of it all, it's the home buyers. The very people we expected to be out there making offers this spring are retreating. There's this general feeling of economic unease in the air, and it's making them sit on the sidelines instead of jumping in.
Okay, Section 2, War, Turmoil, and Rates. This is the primary driver behind the slowdown. So what's causing all this hesitation? You might be surprised to hear that the answer isn't down the street. It's thousands of miles away, but its effects are absolutely being felt right here at home.
And here it is. The main driver is the war in Iran. See, when there's a major conflict like this, it creates a ton of uncertainty. That makes investors really nervous. And when investors get nervous, that feeling, it ripples through the entire financial market and boom, it directly pushes up mortgage rates. The very thing that decides how much your monthly payment's going to be. And just look at how fast and how dramatic this has been. I mean, check out this timeline. Just 5 weeks ago, we were at a 4-year low of 5.99%. Then, by the week ending April 2nd, rates shot up to 6.46%. That's the highest they've been since September. It's an absolutely massive leap in such a short period of time.
And what does that mean for your wallet? Well, here's the bottom line. That surge in rates plus rising home prices means the typical monthly mortgage payment is now $2,750. 2750. Wow, that is a number that absolutely makes you stop and think twice, doesn't it?
But wait, there's more. It's not just about mortgage rates. We've got other headwinds blowing against the market. Home prices themselves, they're up 2.2% from last year, which is the biggest jump we've seen in a year. On top of that, fewer people are listing their homes, and hey, even the Easter weekend played a part, pulling people away for a bit. It's kind of like a perfect storm of factors all hitting at the same time.
All right, next up, the ceasefire turning point. Because right when things started to look really tough for anyone hoping to buy a home, the story took a pretty big turn.
So get this, a ceasefire was just announced, and that news alone sent this huge wave of optimism through the markets. We're already seeing oil prices drop and stocks rally because of it. And economists are hopeful. They think this could be the thing that finally brings some relief and pulls those mortgage rates back down into the low 6s.
Okay, so what does all this chaos, this up and down, actually mean for you on the ground? Well, it's created a totally new reality in the market. It's like the script has been flipped, and it's changing who really has the upper hand. And here's the key takeaway. Remember that crazy, frantic seller's market? Bidding wars, homes selling in a weekend, hardly any inventory? Well, we've shifted away from that. We're now in a market where buyers, you guys, actually have more power, more time to think, and way more choices.
And we've got the hard numbers to prove it. Right now, the typical home is sitting on the market for 51 days. 51 days. That is the slowest it's been for this time of year since 2019. That's not just a small change, it's a huge signal that the whole rhythm of the market is different now.
Okay, so for all the sellers out there, this next section is for you. This new world means you can't just stick a sign in the yard and expect a line of buyers. Nope, the old momentum is gone. You need a real strategy now. And we've got some great boots-on-the-ground advice from Jesse Landon. He's a Redfin Premier agent down in San Antonio. He puts it perfectly. There are simply more homes for sale than there are buyers. So what does that mean? It means making your house stand out isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable. And he says the most important day of all? It's picture day.
So he actually lays out a super simple 3-step playbook for any seller trying to catch the eye of today's buyers. Step 1, paint the walls. Step 2, make those repairs you've been putting off. And step 3, and this one's huge, hire an agent who comes to you with a real plan.
And why is this so important right now? It's pretty simple, really. Think about it from the buyer's side. They're looking at these massive monthly payments. They've got options. They are not going to choose a house that needs a ton of work when there's another one down the street that's move-in ready. They want something as close to perfect as possible.
So at the end of the day, the big takeaway here is that we are in a market that's changing fast. You've got war, interest rates, and just general public feeling all creating a ton of uncertainty. And that leaves everyone, whether you're thinking of buying or selling, with one huge final question to chew on. In a market that's this unpredictable, what's the bigger risk? Acting too soon or waiting too long?